M-H-O Talk Show. IMHO Talk Show. That is right. Thank y'all for being with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us for this 2026. And like we always do about this time, we already started a good conversation. But Max, something that I did not leave in 2025.
What's that?
Is your theme music, Max? Question. See, I was just waiting for somebody to say something. Like nobody caught it, but here we go. Yeah, so that's how we're gonna round it off. But but as we've been talking, these questions, this Russian roulette ass Max. I don't know what you were thinking, Max, but I think a good play off of that of what we were just talking about. And tell me if you disagree. But I'm thinking, our governor, like shouts out to Governor Spanberger. Yeah, she was just installed as governor of the Virginia General Assembly is coming up this Wednesday. We have the official inaugurations coming up this Saturday. So this is a big, busy week for Virginia. But the scrutiny that she has of the UVA board members, because we were talking about folks who have wore pointed hoods, wore badges. And have done things in the name of those things, but then are right here among us. They feel comfortable, marching in Charlottesville. A lot of them have been taught at Thomas Jefferson's University, right? And so the board, as everybody knows, has been under scrutiny recently. Governor Spanberger had asked them to put a halt on some things until she took office, while they didn't elect new board members, the current board did select a new university president. So what are y'all feelings just right now, in regards of the way the state university has been going, and now we have a new governor in place who have appointed quite a few folks who are respected amongst the Black community as well to her cabinet, to her board. It's looking good. Are we hopeful that Virginia will be strong enough to stand up for itself when we disagree with what's being handed out from the federal government? When the federal government tells Charlottesville, not just UVA, right? Because we know how, as UVA goes, so does Charlottesville, say that DEI is no longer involved. We're going to pull money from y'all if you do anything that represents diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? How we feeling? We feel like it's going to be some major pushback that's going to benefit us? What we thinking? Like I said, we got inaugurations and general assemblies this week. Right. New governor, democratically elected. She putting Black women in her cabinet, Max. I'm just saying, strong Black sister out of Richmond I saw too.
I am of the belief now, we'll see whether or not it plays out, that we have a governor in place who is willing to push back if and when necessary against the federal government, and who will hopefully also be more vocal when it comes to those decisions that the University of Virginia are making when it comes to their board and president and et cetera. That is my hope. I would, of course, like to see the University of Virginia be more, and I used this word earlier, but to be more people-centered and to stand on something than to just kind of cower. And I know dollars on the line, right? But kind of cower always in the face of what they are being told to do. Like stand for something, and hopefully that something is what is right. And so that, that's all that any of us can hope for. I'd like to see them head in the right direction. I would like to see them collaborate more with the city and provide more services and resources to people right here at home who need it. And provide a larger number of jobs right here in the city. They do not pay taxes. And they have a lot of benefits as an entity seated right here in the city of Charlottesville. And I'd like to see that reciprocated, whereas the city and its residents can benefit from that. The most vulnerable residents are able to benefit from their presence of being here. So,
okay.
Me personally, mine is really short. I am fearful that African American males, uh, specifically, will not know how to make the next transition for the next 10 years. I don't think anything is set in order for them to benefit. You know, trade schools cost too much now to be able to provide for your family. They don't have discipleship from we don't have enough discipleship to be able to show others how to come along, because what once worked doesn't work anymore. So I think that the caveat for who's going to fall off by the wayside is the black male. And in that, I'm afraid that we will once again rule the prison system because of lack and want. Because you can't have you in our community, you can't be strong if the males can't do anything in the family. If he becomes Mr. Mom and that's not his rightful place in God, then why would the woman want him if she has to take care of another child? I mean, that's might not be something that you want to say, but that's a reality of it, right? So as you just said, you know, she's appointing certain people that's growing and this, that, and other, and we clapping. I feel the same way that I did when we were trying to get Kamala into the presidency. Once she goes in, black males lose, because the powers that be are say, okay, we're going to give you this, but we're going to take away that. And if this becomes non-existent, where is it for you to go but down? That is just my fear. How do I help? I don't know, because it's shifting me into survival mode myself. Like,
so of course that's why I disagree with you as always when it comes to that, to the plot of with the position that our politicians, our representatives play. Because where I see the discrepancy in that of, you know, whether Spanberger or Harris, and how, I guess you're saying general Democrats in general, how that may be worse when it comes to black male incarceration.
No, I'm not saying Democrat. I don't want to. I'm trying to get away from titles, because titles make people focus and hone in and don't see the big picture. Can't see the forest for the trees. I'm learning that about how titles have limited people's creativity and their ability to see a better day, because they're so locked in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Max, here's my ultimate point though. The science of politics. The fact is, from what I've seen in my lifetime of studying history, is that in general, when more conservatives and Republicans are in office, some people see black business growth or feel more freedom, because sometimes there are less regulations. Essentially, when the odds are against us socially, we feel like that we gotta hustle. And sometimes when you're hustling, that leads to more liberation and more freedom. And I know what Saran said about hustling, but but when things have been more democratically led, then sometimes we as a community take our foot off the gas, and then we get taken advantage of by the system. And my whole point is that we should never rely too much on the government. It always should start square one. Point A should be, we as a community, what are we doing for ourselves, right? And doing to grow and take care of our own. Because that's essentially what happens. It's like, if we're preparing ourselves, then we don't have to be in fear of, potential policies that may negatively impact us if we're handling our business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was more so, in my opinion, when it was just white people and black people, right? So now you got the same amount of housing, and you got 4 or 5 additional ethnicities applying for those same things. And like Max had said 3 or 4 shows ago, that it doesn't seem right that if I'm not from here, the government will take care of me and give me money to be able to build. And so it has to come from somewhere, because all I hear from the city of Charlottesville and every other entity is, we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. We ain't got enough money to do everything. Right. So that's always the caveat, to be able to make sure that that's sitting right here. What can I help you with? We ain't got enough money for everybody. Like that's what everybody say. I don't care if it's white, black, green, yellow. That's the default mechanism that they use to keep you from getting something. We only got so much money. We got to figure out where it has to go.
Yeah, I think we know that's not true. I think that used to put us against each other.
But that is a lie that has been focused to the people that we do listen to, that spread that also say, like, no, I get a chance to see the books. This is what we do. Hey, I'm out here fighting for you, but they only got so much. Hey, we going down to Richmond to do these things. They only gonna give us this much money, but we know we got this kind of need. So the underlining to pull the rug from underneath you is built the same time as they're trying to get you what you need when they're asking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And Max, ultimately, it's a give and take, right? Like, that's my thing, is that's why we can't put too much weight in any candidate, any representative, because there's no perfect candidate.
Yeah.
And to me, I vote because it's supposed to be accountable. It's supposed to be what's the greatest good for society, not my personal beliefs on how you should run your life, because that's really not my business. How are we operating better as a community? And then I feel like, again, besides that, since it's a give and take, since nobody's perfect, if you want to say lesser of the two evils, then it's always going to boil down to what are we doing for self?
Yeah, Canada not stronger than the system, though.
Yeah. So something that I was thinking about as you two were talking is that I was having a conversation recently with someone who was talking about how African Americans have or have not experienced racism here in the city of Charlottesville. Have or have not experienced it.
Do what?
Have or have not. Have or have not. And in that, hold on for a second. And in that conversation, as best as I could tell, it was more so about their socioeconomic status, which created a buffer from them to experience some element, some level of racism, and how those that who experience it the most are at the very bottom of the income level of the, I'm not going to say society, but at the very bottom of the socioeconomic status. And so those are the ones who experience it the most, whereas where they are in life, they experience it least or kind of not at all here in the city.
Tell them to stop drinking. Number two, we see it all the time.
So when we talk about things like how we best prepare, it makes me bring into question how much the three of us sitting in this room will actually experience it, as opposed to those individuals who are most subject to experience it because of their socioeconomic status. And
what do you mean fact? I don't get that. It's like, all you gotta do is go play Western Albemarle. Those people work over here in Charlottesville. Right, so you mean tell me the children act like that over there, but the parents don't act like that over here where they work?
They do. That's where they get it from. But I believe her point, though, is that whether you want to admit it or not, everybody has a level of privilege. Meaning if you weren't...
No, she didn't say that. That's not what she said.
But that's what I got from her.
Okay.
Is that like we all have some level.
Privilege.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, because my point is that you being Troy Robinson by birth. You know, Eddie said, "Mama named Troy, I'm gonna call him Troy." So you being that, if you weren't a public figure, if you didn't own Order Up, and you were looking like you, birthday, and you walk through some of the streets that you walk through, you gonna get profiled.
I get treated differently. I would.
So like, so even
that's
you being a black man,
a bad job of explaining it.
No.
It
was a great job because you know, at least what I got from it was that. Even whether we want to admit it or not, and as many things as you have been through as a person and as a black man in this country, even you have a level of privilege that others don't.
I do. You know what I mean? No, I do. But I also understand that I'm more worried about the racism that my kids may experience than me. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And that comes from good and bad, because the expectation, when you have a parent who is doing something publicly and the kid comes along, people kind of expect something out the kid not all of them are built to take on the pressures of the things that, like, say, the three of us have built. And it becomes hard, or, you know, the people just look. So I'm more worried about that racism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's my only point. As we talk about how we specifically game plan, the thought is how much will we really experience in comparison to those whose life to a certain degree will be dictated and directed based on the racism they experience, not by you can't come in my store. Like, it's not that blatant, you know, but the racism that exists in institutions and
ours
how that
is worse,
impacts
Max,
them.
because ours will be done behind our back. I would much rather get my racism dead in my face so I know how to handle it than for me to shake hands, walk off, and they be setting up my demise the whole time. The racism from where we are as public figures is way worse than being a homeless person walking down the downtown mall and them not wanting you to, your dog, your bags or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm getting it right here in my face. And that's about as far as it's going to go. Even though we might look at it as a glass ceiling that they can't do nothing. But the racism that we get behind closed doors because they can't do it in your face because you're public is way worse in my opinion.
But you can't say that they're better off than you. The racism is just different.
I don't know, y'all, because like
come on, you can't say
for real, man. Because when I'm talking about the way you're getting judged because of the way you look and what you have, you can deal with it, right? Because if you're looking at me racist because of my lack, if something changes or I clean myself up, get a haircut, then you might look at me as like I'm trying. But when you're already looked upon as somebody who's doing something in the community and they just don't like you because of your skin color, or they think that you got the job just because you're black, then they're setting up pitfalls for you that you don't know exist.
Yeah.
That's way worse than me.
Right. Yeah. So you're talking about like
they have it
like
better.
more so prejudices because somebody could be black, white, and homeless. It doesn't matter your color.
I'd rather be walking in a certain neighborhood and get called the N-word to know not to come back there than for me to be accepted to move in because you want my money because you need to drive up the property values. And then the whole time you complaining about me and my kids can't go to the trash can and I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's way worse than me. Like, I just rather my racism be served right on the plate right in front of me.
He said on the platter. So Miss Max, what do you think? Should we close this thing out?
That's it.
Close this thing out. How do we do it? Did the studio audience agree that this was a good show? All right.
Appreciate
it. But we can't leave just quite yet because Miss Max, we got some word from the street.
Right.
Some announcements for the people. We are going into a Dr. King weekend, right? Celebrate, and regardless of what them folks say, it's like Arizona 20 years ago. Dr. King's Day is a holiday. Don't you forget that. I forget what show. That was a show they did. It was a movie or something. Yeah, what they be Martin. Yeah, he said they be tripping in Arizona. Dr. King Day is a holiday. Hey, they be tripping in that White House nowadays. But so what we got, Max? We got the good Alexander as always is doing the Continuing His Dream and Works Monday, January 19th from 1 to 3 at the Carver Rec Center. Check that out, as well as our friends over at Abundant Life. They present MLK Day 2026. Also on January 19th from 5 to 8. So y'all can hit both of them right there. And then we also have, at least sent to us, and y'all can send it, share it on our page as well. If we didn't get if we didn't see it, make sure you send it to us. But also UVA's Division for Community Engagement and Equal Opportunity is doing the Community MLK celebration with guest historian, best-selling author, cultural commentator Imani Perry on January 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Paramount Theater. Tickets are free while they last. So if they're still available, y'all go hit Paramount for those Community MLK celebration tickets. Last but not least, some of y'all may have seen there's a community choir that was being promoted that they wanted folks to come out and be a part of. That is for the 41st annual, right? Building Community the Nonviolent Way. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Celebration and Worship Service. January 25th. Yes, we got a, good over a week long celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. King. So January 25th at the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church. Lot going on there. And that will start at 4:00. So Dr. King celebration is supposed to be a time of community service and, celebrating that legacy, y'all.
Good deal.
One thing,
Good
Joe.
deal. Lots to do.
Coming up soon, Order Up Eatery at the Jefferson School next to the Carver. Stay tuned if you want something different. I don't want to say something better. I'll let you say it. But we will be bringing something to you at the Jefferson very soon.
Big things popping.
All right. I guess until next time, family, City of Charlottesville, all the listening audience, take care of yourself. We will be back to bring you much more of what you enjoy with our dialogue, with our guests, with IMHO. Okay? Take care.